Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Shravanam Diaries Podcast.
Hare Krishna, we're continuing to read Bhagavad Gita as it is, the book by His Divine Grace, Abhaycharanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Chapter 12, Devotional Service, Text 6 and 7. Yetu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matpara ananye naiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate teshamaham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha maya veshita chetasam. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. Okay, let's repeat. Worship him, worshipping Krishna, giving up all activities unto Krishna, devoted without deviation, engaged in devotional service, always meditating and fixing the mind. Okay. Purport. It is explicitly stated here that the devotees are very fortunate to be delivered very soon from material existence by the Lord. In pure devotional service, one comes to the realization that God is great and that the individual soul is subordinate to Him. His duty is to render service to the Lord, and if he does not, then he will render service to Maya. As stated before, the Supreme Lord can be appreciated only by devotional service. Therefore, one should be fully devoted. One should fix his mind fully on Krishna in order to achieve him. One should work only for Krishna. It does not matter in what kind of work one engages, but that work should be done only for Krishna. That is the standard of devotional service. The devotee does not desire any achievement other than pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His life's mission is to please Krishna, and he can sacrifice everything for Krishna's satisfaction, just as Arjuna did in the battle of Kurukshetra. The process is very simple. One can devote himself in his occupation and engage at the same time in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Such transcendental chanting attracts the devotee to the personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord herein promises that, without delay, He will deliver a pure devotee, thus engaged from the ocean of material existence. Those who are advanced in yoga practice can willfully transfer the soul to whatever planet they like by the yoga process. And others take the opportunity in various ways. But as far as the devotee is concerned, it is clearly stated here that the Lord Himself takes him. The devotee does not need to wait to become very experienced in order to transfer himself to the spiritual sky. In the Varaha Purana, this verse appears. Nayami paramam stanam archir adi gatim vina garuda skandamaropya yathecham anivaritaha. The purport of this verse is that A devotee does not need to practice Ashtanga Yoga in order to transfer his soul to the spiritual planets. The responsibility is taken by the Supreme Lord Himself. Oh, that's so sweet. He clearly states here that He Himself becomes the deliverer. A child is completely cared for by his parents, and thus his position is secure. Similarly, a devotee does not need to endeavor to transfer himself by yoga practice to other planets. Rather, the Supreme Lord, by His great mercy, comes at once riding on His bird carrier Garuda, and at once delivers the devotee from material existence. Although a man who has fallen in the ocean may struggle very hard and may be very expert in swimming, he cannot save himself. But if someone comes and picks him up from the water, then he is easily rescued. Similarly, the Lord picks up the devotee from this material existence. One simply has to practice the easy process of devotional service, the easy process of Krishna consciousness and fully engage himself in devotional service. Any intelligent man should always prefer the process of devotional service to all other paths. In the Narayaniya, this is confirmed as follows: Yavai sadhana sampatti purushartha chatushtaye tayavina tadapnoti naro narayana shraya. The purport of this verse is that one should not engage in the different processes of fruitive activity or cultivate knowledge by the mental speculative process. Okay. One who is devoted to the Supreme Personality can attain all the benefits derived from other yogic processes, speculation, rituals, sacrifices, charities, etc. That is the specific benediction of devotional service. Jai. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, a devotee of the Lord can approach the supreme destination easily and happily. But this destination cannot be approached by any other process of religion. The conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is stated in the 18th chapter. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. One should give up all other processes of self-realization and simply execute devotional service in Krishna consciousness. That will enable one to reach the highest perfection of life. There is no need for one to consider the sinful actions of his past life, because the Supreme Lord fully takes charge of him. Therefore, one should not futilely try to deliver himself in spiritual realization. Let everyone take shelter. Let everyone take shelter of the Supreme Omnipotent Godhead, Krishna. Text 8. Mayeva mana adhatsva mayi buddham niveshaya nivasishyasi mayeva atta urdvam na samshaya. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus, you will live in me always. without a doubt. Purport. One who is engaged in Lord Krishna's devotional service lives in a direct relationship with the Supreme Lord. So there is no doubt that his position is transcendental from the very beginning. A devotee does not live on the material plane, he lives in Krishna. The holy name of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, Krishna and his internal potency are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. When he offers Krishna food, Krishna directly accepts these edibles, and the devotee becomes Krishnaized by eating the remnants. One who does not engage in such service cannot understand how this is so, although this is a process recommended in the Bhagavad Gita and in other Vedic literatures. It says one who does not engage in such service can't understand how this is so. And that's something that I believe that we still have to cultivate, this understanding that devotees who are really devoted 100%, they do live on a different plane. They don't live on the material plane, they live in Krishna. And unfortunately, many times when we try to apply material sciences, just like even say astrology, Ayurveda, what else? Vastu, right? And devotees who really they've surrendered their entire life, they go beyond it, and you can't really drag them down and try to calculate from your material perspective, because it is beyond that. You're just basically either you're lying to yourself or lying to others, or cheating yourself or cheating others when you're trying to devotees are not acting on that plane. It's very, just like Prabhupada said, he says here, right? Direct relationship with the Lord. And you can't know what is the plan of the Lord. You can't really know the Lord himself. And it says that, I remember it very clearly. I don't remember in which book I've read it, but I remember that I kept it as a quote in my diary, that one can never know the mind of a pure devotee. We can't know the mind of a pure devotee. We can't know the mind of the Supreme Lord. And I would say that I've met many devotees who have dedicated their lives to the Lord so much that, you can't know what's on their mind. Even if, some people, they're kind of, they can make out. Usually some things you can make out just by looking at the person, at his behavior, at his eyes are the mirror of the soul, these gestures, they're, sometimes you can make some things out, it's just like I remember some 6-7 years back I was in Vrindavan, and I went to, this was before Damodar Maharaj had his room in Russian house. He was in Bhakti Dham. There was a room in Bhakti Dham. I attended his class. There was a couple of people, and I don't even remember how did I find out that there is a class of Damodar Maharaj, who was informing me, but somehow I was there. I remember Kinchana Krishna Prabhu was there, some other couple of people were there. Maharaj was giving class for us, right? Damodar Maharaj. And he said this interesting thing. He said that everybody can read minds, because otherwise people who can't read minds, they're sick. and the disease is called autism. And then he was explaining that basically we are spiritual autists, meaning like we read these transcendental pastimes and we don't understand the transcendental emotion behind them. And to some extent, as much as we progress in devotional life, we do begin to have some idea. Especially when great personalities, they're telling the leelas, right, the pastimes of the Lord, you also start feeling for that. And you can't say that we're experiencing pure transcendental emotions, but you can't say that this is purely material either. We're thinking of the Lord. So, and I remember that from that time, he also recommended this Blitz book. Also, he read it, so it's very interesting when we're talking about devotional service. We're talking about different planes. There is a material plane, there is a transcendental plane. And unfortunately, in the modern ISKCON jargon, when we say this devotee is transcendental, which basically means he is a little funny, means that, you can't count on him, he is beyond, he's almost like an avadhuta type of a person. That's what we say, he's transcendental. But I believe that from this purport, we can clearly establish that this is what we all aspire for. Even though we know that we are on the mental did I say that we're on the mental plane? That's great. I mean, intellectual, mental, bodily plane, right? We're on these planes. These are material planes. But we aspire to fix our mind upon Krishna in any situation, at all times, at all circumstances. We are aspiring to engage all our intelligence in Krishna. And sometimes I find it funny when people are extremely intelligent, but they consider that they want to simplify their life when they come to Krishna consciousness. Like in their material life, they were this, like a genius. In Russian we say wunderkind. And then in spiritual life, they're like, no, I should not be so outgoing, and I should not engage my entire intelligence in Krishna consciousness. It's impossible. No, it's very much possible, actually. All of your intelligence can be engaged, and that's when we are functioning then that's when we actually start living in Krishna, right? Prabhupada says here, he lives in Krishna. So please, let's fix our minds upon Krishna and let's engage all of our intelligence in Krishna. And then Krishna says, thus you will live in me always, without a doubt. Yeah, that's something to take from today's reading. Okay, Jai. And here Prabhupada says how to do it. Holy name and the Lord are not different than offering food, accepting the remnants, and those who don't engage, they can't understand how this is so. But this is what's recommended in Bhagavad Gita and Vedic literatures. So if you don't understand how this is so, you should try and see for yourself. Enjoy. Thank you so much for tuning in today. The book links, previous episodes timeline, and biography of the author can be found on shravanamdiaries.com. The link is in the description, and we shall see you tomorrow.
Hare Krishna, Krishna